Turning now to the latest on the government shutdown. 2 Senate measures failed to reach the 60 votes needed to pass today, so we stretch on through day 3. We have team coverage of the continuing shutdown for you. Michaela Hardy is live in the studio with a look at how some lawmakers are actually donating their pay during the shutdown. But we'll begin with Erica Brown with the latest out of Washington. Erica?
Well, Ariana, progress here on Capitol Hill is stalled. As you noted there, the Senate once again took up a measure to fund the government over the next few weeks, and it failed as lawmakers remain deadlocked over federal funding. But it all comes as the White House is weighing mass firings of federal workers during the standoff. The White House says layoffs of some federal workers are needed as the government shutdown continues.
Nobody wants to do that, but sometimes in government you have to make tough decisions.
The Trump administration is also targeting some Democratic-led cities and states during the shutdown. Earlier this week, the White House put a hold on $18 billion in funding for transit projects in New York. And Friday morning, Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought announced on social media that $2 billion in projects for Chicago is being frozen.
Russ Vought is doing what he's been tasked to do in the midst of this government shutdown, which is to look at funds that need to be temporarily halted or need to be canceled. And Chicago is just another example of that.
Friday, the Senate voted once again and failed to move forward with a short-term spending bill to fund the government until mid-November, extending the government shutdown.
The yeas are 54 and the nays are 44.
Republicans picked up 3 votes, but the bill still fell short of the 60 needed to advance the legislation. Most Democrats are holding out for an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies and a rollback of cuts to Medicaid.
I'm confident that it is a righteous fight to keep health care premiums from going up for tens of millions of families.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune says discussions are underway with some Democrats to vote for the bill.
I don't know how many times you're going to give them a chance to vote no, and hopefully over the weekend they'll have a chance to think about it.
The next vote is not expected until Monday, which would be day 6 of the shutdown. Now, the White House says that President Trump and his officials could decide on mass layoffs of federal workers as soon as today. Ariana?
Okay, Erica Brown reporting for us live. Thank you. And with the shutdown continuing through the weekend, federal workers' paychecks have also been put on pause. So we'll send things over now to Michaela Hardy. And Michaela, lots of people won't be getting paid, but that's not the case for members of Congress. Can you explain why that is?
Yeah, Ari, it's because it's in our Constitution. In Article 1, Section 6, it says senators and representatives shall receive compensation for their services. Unfortunately, that's not the case for federal workers. And since they're protected under the Constitution, TMCC political science professor Fred Locken says it's one of the reasons why shutdowns happen in our country.
Statistically, they occur about every 2.3 years over the last 30 years. But what's really interesting is that we're the only country in the world that goes through this.
Professor Locken says if other countries cannot agree on a new budget, they'll operate on the existing budget until they agree on the changes, unlike the U.S. that has a complete shutdown. Both Senator Catherine Cortez Masto and Jackie Rosen say they'll both be donating their paychecks to local food banks, healthcare, and Make-A-Wish Foundation. Senator Cortez Masto says she initially voted to not have a shutdown, knowing how it would impact people.
Particularly in Nevada, when you're a state where there's high costs, grocery costs, clothing, energy costs, all of the above, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, it matters that you get your paycheck on time.
Senator Cortez Masto urges any impacted federal workers in Nevada to reach out to her office for help. And we reached out to Congressman Mark Amodei as well as other Nevada representatives for their reactions to the government shutdown, but have not heard back yet. Covering the government shutdown, Michaela Hardy, 2 News Nevada.